Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Garden of Sports. I'm your host, Jake Gardner, alongside my brother, Zach.
What's up, everybody?
And we have a special guest this morning, Aaron Morrison.
How you guys doing?
He's been with us a couple times now, becoming our basketball go-to. But, yeah, we're going to go over basketball Week 18, the first half recap, and this week's kind of special because you have the All-Star break in the middle, and so we'll prep you for the second half and kind of the second half of the season. As they call it, even though there's less games than the first half. But yeah, either way, we'll also go over the trade deadline winners and losers. We'll go over scoop 'em up, trades you can make if you still don't have a trade deadline yet for your fantasy basketball league. And yeah, let's just break into it.
Do it.
So, surprises of the week. Julius Randle, 53.1 in the last 7, and he's been having like a really bad year. Just compared to last year, his breakout year. So this was really nice to see, and definitely a surprise because I thought he was kind of just going to keep struggling the rest of the time. Evan Mobley, 52 in the last 7. Woo! And I don't know if you guys know this, but like I was watching the skills challenge last night, and the dude's still growing. He's already taller than Jared Allen, their center.
That's
like
crazy.
He's standing right next to him, bro. He's at least an inch taller. So, dude if he could still go a couple more inches, man, they might have to switch positions at power forward and center because he's taking over there. And he was also hitting a lot of shots. I don't know. He's been going off, and then obviously went off in the skills challenge. So, and Cleveland won the skills challenge, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. Pretty great stuff. CJ McCollum, 48.3 in the last 7. I didn't know how he would do next to Brandon Ingram, also a great shooter, but
looking like a stud.
Looking like a stud for the second half, especially with the news about Zion not coming back, most likely.
Yeah. Yep.
So it looks like it's just Ingram and CJ shooting it up. Josh Hart, 43.7 in the last 7, and he, I didn't see this one coming. He was part of that CJ McCollum trade. And I thought he would not do as well in Portland, but he's just kind of picking up where he left off, doing even better. He's getting more of a role there. So, something to watch. Brandon Clark, 35.6 in the last 7. He's finally put together like a consistent week to 2 as the bench big man, basically, for the Grizzlies. So, also a surprise. But yeah, any other surprises from you guys of players' performances in the past week?
Nothing in particular. Oh, maybe
the trade of
Maxi
White.
Kleber.
Oh, yeah. Maxi
kind of
Kleber
averaged like 43 this week.
Yeah, taking over as the big man.
Only 2 games, but looking pretty good. So
okay. And what'd you say, Aaron?
I said what's his name? Lonnie Walker III. Like
fourth. He had a couple good games, right? At least one.
He looks a lot better without
Derek
White. Got rid of White. Yeah.
He does look good.
A lot better.
For sure. All right. Storylines, though, I got a bunch of questions for you guys and want your opinion. So,
okay,
Ja Morant or Luka Doncic?
Ja Morant.
What? Aaron, you go. What do you say?
I'd say it depends on the outlook on it. Are you saying this season, long term, or what's the outlook on it?
Both, like this season and then long term. Which one?
I would say this season Ja Morant looks better, but it's just because Ja Morant has a better team. But I would say long term Luka, just because Luka could do what he's doing right now in 20 years, just because it's low intensity on the body.
Yeah, Ja's like all over the place.
And we've seen that before with D Rose and Russ. How they end their careers is going to be a lot different than how Luka will probably end his career.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I figured that this is just for this year, and Ja Morant just looks like he's on another level at least this season. So
sure, yeah. I just wanted to compare because their stats are almost exactly the same. I think Luka beats him by 1 point in points average, and then by 1 or 2 rebounds, maybe like 1 assist, and they both are averaging like 1 steal. So it's kind of crazy how similar they're looking. But
and one does it with actually shooting, and one does it with, getting to the rim. So it's kind of interesting the way they played so differently, but they have similar stats.
Yeah, league is in good hands.
Yeah,
definitely is.
DeMar DeRozan, I feel like he's been snubbed on even being in the MVP talk. I'm not saying he deserves to win it, but shouldn't he be at least considered top 5? What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's very strange. I've been documenting this. He just broke a record that's been held for 60 years by Wilt Chamberlain, one of the greatest scorers in league history. He just broke a record held by that guy. And he moved down in the MVP. He went from like 7 to 9 on ESPN.
I feel like the NBA gets like bored with consistency, and he's so consistent. Like, it's crazy. Like, he gives you the same thing every night, and he's even better when Zach is out. And then another thing, I think Joel Embiid is getting too much credit just because they were the 1 seed last year. They're like the 3 to 5 seed this year. So their team got worse, but he's getting more credit, even though he's balling out. But I feel like the league wants to give him an MVP because they feel like last year he would have won it if he didn't get hurt. But I don't think he deserves it this year just because a guy comes to a team and now we're the top seed in the East. Even though we're probably going to get bounced in the second round, just being realistic. But it's good to see.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, Embiid's great and he's playing great, and they're going to give him the MVP. Like, I don't like how political, quote unquote, not exactly political, but there's a whole reason for what they do besides just who plays better, because Embiid's playing great, but Giannis is still putting up way better stats and statistically should probably be the MVP again, but they're just going to give it to Embiid because he's playing pretty good too.
But with great players, they're going to do the same thing they did to LeBron. Like, they're not going to give it to the best player because it's too easy.
Right.
Looks like Jokic took over number 1 spot. And Embiid is 2. Embiid is 2, Giannis 3, Chris Paul 4, Stephen Curry 5. The next 5, Ja Morant, Luka Doncic, Devin Booker, DeMar DeRozan, Jimmy Butler. Wow.
Yeah, he went down from 7th to 9th after breaking a 60-year held record by the best scorer ever in the league.
He should definitely be at least 7th behind Ja Morant, because Ja Morant and him both have high-seeded teams. So does Devin Booker, but you're gonna have Devin Booker as number 8 and Chris Paul as number 4.
They just make it seem like, they're being so charitable even having him in the top 10. Like, they can't wait to get him out of the top 10. It seems
extra chip on his shoulder then, man. I just hope we can get healthy before the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're the 2 seed and we're all banged up.
It's pretty crazy how they have a rookie stepping up in DeSumo who is acting like a 5-year veteran out there. It's pretty, as a 2nd round pick. I just like that kid a lot.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah. He's out there pumping everybody up. I've never seen
a great team. DeMar and Zach LaVine were there supporting him in his whatever challenge the game he was in last night. So that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was the rookie Rising Stars thing or whatever, Rising Stars game.
Yeah.
So they were sitting courtside. That was pretty, they're super supportive. And they were also in, they did some kind of ceremony for him in the Illini Stadium. And DeMar went down there to be there for him.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Kind of a good, just bunch of good teammates.
Just a feel-good story.
Yeah. But, anyway, so besides that bullshit, who won the trade deadline? I put all the trades here in the doc.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think got the best trade done?
I think the Nets, man. I think that they, with their one trade, got 3 things that they need. 4 things that they need if you think they need more draft picks. But they, got Ben Simmons, who is probably going to be a pretty good player for them and is probably going to fit well with Durant and Kyrie, two good shooters around him.
Yeah.
They needed a center. They got Drummond, who probably was the best bench center in the whole league on the team he was on. Drummond can put up 20 and 10 himself if he gets time. And then Seth Curry, just a really underrated shooter. Like, I think the Nets, if all these guys are healthy and playing, I think they definitely won. Because they got the most these three guys can really help them on a playoff run.
Okay. So who won? Yeah. So who won right away? I think you answered that. Who won? And then who else? What do you guys think? Who won for long term? And who lost? Just completely botched it.
I feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers won the deadline, getting Kyrie LeVert. Kyrie LeVert's going to get you 18 points a game easily, and they didn't really take away anything. And then they got Lowry coming back. Long term, they got a bright future, especially since LeBron talking about he want to come back to the Cavaliers.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
He had to tease him. I think the All-Star game was there, so he had to be like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And speaking of LeBron, that leads into who lost the trade deadline, the Lakers.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I agree
like,
there.
Even though they didn't have any mobility, like, they don't have contracts they really can move. But, like, you have to do something there just to, like, give your fans the thought that you're trying. Even though they had a great win against the Utah Jazz, Anthony Toilet Paper Davis, he's out again. So we're back to being, like,
dude.
I call him street clothes. Me and Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Street clothes. Get out of here. He is out a lot, though. That's true.
We get a good look at his closet.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
No, but seriously though, if I was LeBron, I'd be pissed. Like, seriously.
And he's playing great. And that's the thing that makes me angry.
He's playing at an MVP level when he's in, if they're not giving him rest or whatever.
And it's like, it's the same thing every time, like on every LeBron team. Like, it's like he can't get off the floor. They're so dependent. And it's crazy to see. But Russell Westbrook has been coming on strong. So hopefully All-Star break, because he usually turns it on after the All-Star break anyway. Hopefully he comes back to himself. Like, I need a few triple-doubles because he's going to have the opportunity now that AD is gone. He's going to start averaging 25, hopefully. Hopefully he turns into OKC Russ.
But does that equal wins, though? Him averaging 25 and getting triple-doubles? Like, is that going to help the Lakers actually win?
Yeah, with LeBron's 25, it will.
True. Okay.
They're
going to squeak up to maybe that 9th seed?
I think they're going to get into the 8 or 7. They're going to be in a playing game, I feel like. But I feel comfortable them playing Phoenix or Golden State, even though that's going to be their biggest challenge. But I feel like if they get past those two teams, Denver is not going to be a challenge. Utah, we've seen what they do to Utah. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, that's somebody who I want them to avoid just because they're contrasting teams, young team versus old team. Never good. But besides the Grizzlies, like,
oh shoot, did we lose Aaron?
Hello? You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what were you saying there? Finish about the Grizzlies?
Yeah, that's the team I would want to avoid if I'm LA. But they won't see them unless they win a round. And if they win a round, I feel like they're going to win a ring.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Oh, the Lakers?
Yeah.
Okay. What are we?
I mean, LeBron's talking about his knee and ankle being bad though right now, so I feel I'll throw
$5 on that. That
playing
they
banged
win.
up. That they, my God. Yeah, no, they could definitely make a dent. I just don't see him beating, like you said, the top 3 seeds, which are Grizzlies, Phoenix, and the Golden State Warriors. But they could beat anybody else for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, for me, the trade deadline's definitely the Nets right away if they can get everybody on the court. But then they basically traded for 3 starters, and those 3 starters fit perfectly next to Kyrie and Kevin Durant. You play Ben Simmons at the power forward, Andre Drummond's obviously your center, and Seth Curry is an extra shot with a shooting guard. That's like the best starting 5 in the league.
And then they have a pretty good sixth man in Cam Thomas too.
Yeah.
Like he's been playing pretty good over the last 2 weeks. I mean, he's probably going to get less playing time now, but
I think they won.
He's very capable.
Yeah. I have to see it though. They have to get everybody back. I don't know. I feel like they can't win a championship with no playing time together. But maybe next year. And then for long term, I really like that the Pacers got Halliburton. I mean,
yeah, that's
Sabonis puts up numbers, but they weren't winning anymore. And
yeah,
you get one of the best young picks.
An already crowded,
well, they're going to get rid of Brogdon in the offseason.
Group of guards just got more crowded, but
they got rid of guards too. They got rid of Karis LeVert and
yeah. So we'll see how it works. I mean,
I think it's a great piece to build around, and I think they're going to trade. There's just a total rebuild. They're going to get rid of Miles Turner and Brogdon and build around Halliburton.
And then just real quick before we move on, what do you guys think about the Bulls getting Tristan Thompson and the buyout?
Oh, it's a good big man body just to get in the way of some bigs. We need them. You need them for the playoffs to take fouls against Embiid or Giannis. We have a lot of big threats in the East that we need a big man for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Giannis is gonna give him 30 anyway. I feel like
yeah, but you want to annoy him, right?
Yeah, you want to piss him off. You want to make him earn his shots.
I kind of don't want to make him angry.
Make him make him.
He's always angry.
Make him fight. Make him land more on those weak knees. Just hope that he gets hurt.
No.
It's their only chance.
I get it. You want a big man that can stop him from getting even another 4 points. That could be the difference in a game. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Oh, got a train right there.
Yeah.
That's the Bulls championship train coming to town.
Right.
And this one... Yeah, go ahead. Aaron, were you saying something?
I'm good for the train.
Okay. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you guys, who will be the go-to big man for Dallas now that Porzingis is gone? Because they just paid Dorian Finney-Smith money, and he's had some pretty good stretches this season, even with Porzingis in. And then Kleber has had a really good 2 weeks, and then they just traded Porzingis. So both of them look pretty good.
I think it's going to be Kleber. I think they want to go with the Euro duo. So
okay, but they did just pay Smith, so I feel like they like him a lot.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I think they'll play all three of them together, and they'll go kind of oppo of the small ball stuff.
Okay, yeah, maybe 2 power forwards.
Yeah,
sort of no center.
Because Kleber, he can play that stretch 4. He can shoot the ball. He can also, take it to the hoop if he has to. I mean, he's not a great ball handler, but he seems like he's from the little I've seen, seems like he's pretty capable with the ball in his hands. Especially with Doncic doing most of that. I feel like Kleber's skill set benefits, sits well with Doncic. I think the two of them can feed off each other pretty well. So just from the little I've seen, there are 2 games that they've played, both starting minutes together.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I'm going to run through injuries and just go over relevant, up-to-date ones from ESPN. John Collins did not play and won't play until after the All-Star break, so some of these injuries are just guys they want to rest. Marcus Smart, I'm sure you guys might have seen this, but he had a bad ankle roll right before the All-Star break, so he missed Wednesday's game. But they said supposedly it wasn't that bad, the coach said, so could be back. Kevin Durant, it came out that he has a small chance of returning immediately after the All-Star break. So he could be back within a week or 2. I don't think he'll return immediately, but pretty soon. Ben Simmons has not set a date on his or his Nets debut, so I don't know what that is, but maybe it's conditioning.
Maybe he really had mental health issues.
Yeah, I mean that too, but he's probably out of shape.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving is ineligible to miss the next 4 games, so that kind of sucks, but everybody knew that was coming. So anybody holding him in fantasy, if you didn't sell high, and this is kind of what you're going to get. So it was tough to if you didn't want to trade him, but at the same time, if the guy's just going to miss games, it really kills you. You just lose all that value.
You want to know something weird real quick before we move on?
Yeah.
In New York, they have that vaccine mandate for sports, right?
Yeah.
Only for home players. So Kyrie can't play at home games because he's unvaccinated, but an unvaccinated player on the away team can play at their stadium.
Yeah, it's probably because you can't mandate people that don't live there.
It's very weird, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but yeah.
Yeah. Gordon Hayward, an MRI on Hayward's knee, or injured left ankle revealed sprained ligaments, so he's out indefinitely. That's kind of old news, but I just wanted to go over because we did take a week off just for the Super Bowl, and we haven't taken a week off since the beginning of the football season. So
yeah, we've been grinding.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. Levine met with a specialist in Los Angeles and went very well, and he's expected to return following the All-Star break. So I think he was just more worried because of his history of injuries, and he was just skeptical. And
it is pretty nerve-wracking when they tell you that there's no structural damage and everything's fine, and then he still has knee swelling going on. So I get why he wanted to get more opinions.
Such a high jumper, I think that's why, because landing after those high jumps is,
and it's just,
I don't know, maybe he's got to go a little less hard. I mean, I know we want to get the 1 seed, but like save it for the playoffs,
And it's like they drained it now, and he's probably going to be have some brace on there. They're most likely going to have to drain it again. As long as he can not injure it any further, they're probably going to have to drain it again, maybe a few more times, because it's just going to keep happening. But unless he takes like 6 weeks off, which he's not going to do. So.
Like that's the only remedy for it, honestly, is rest. But we don't got that luxury for real, because the 1 through 5 or 6 seed is separated by 3 games. So like we should really keep going hard.
Yeah, it's a dog fight. It's a dog fight. Yeah, and we don't want like the 6 seed. We want the 8 seed.
But the good news for Zach is he's probably not going to like it, but they could limit his minutes a little bit with how good some of the other bench guys are doing. They might not have to have him go out there 30 minutes a game. He
won't allow that. He just wants to play, man. He's just a hard worker who wants to keep playing.
And it'll affect his bonuses and his contract as well. So.
Oh yeah, true.
Okay.
Yeah, like his minutes or points dip, like his money dips as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Lonzo Ball knee recently resumed walking without the aid of crutches and appears to be trending toward a mid to late March return. So basically, we'll have him for the playoffs, and that's what we need him for.
Yeah.
So that's fine with me. Alex Caruso, wrist may be cleared to resume dribbling and shooting drills shortly after the All-Star break. So both of those guys are going to be like probably late March, and I'm happy with that. I'm just happy they're not out for the year.
Grayson Allen.
Yeah. And then I don't know if this is on there.
Oh my god, how's that guy not out of the league?
Yeah, screw him, dude. We've known that he's a Jag since college. Just as a, he was a piece of crap on, what was he on, Duke?
Yeah.
But what is there any news on Patrick Williams? I heard that might be coming back late March.
Yeah, it says he's been ramping up his conditioning lately and thinks there's a very strong possibility he returns by the end of the regular season.
Wow, that would be so cool.
It's still kind of vague though, so I wouldn't bank on it for fantasy or anything.
He might throw off the chemistry.
If he can get like 2 weeks before the playoffs start, like come back for the last 2 weeks of the regular season, that would be perfect, but we'll see.
For sure. Jamal Murray expected to receive physical clearance to return to the game action before the end of the regular season. So for Denver, that could be scary. Same with Michael Porter Jr. will be physically cleared to return before the end of the season. So both of their 2 other stars could be back, and they're already playing pretty well anyway. So I'm saying that I don't know if they could at least win with them. They could win in 1 round.
I doubt it. I feel like those 2 players are very rhythm players. Like Jamal Murray, the whole year, if you watch him, he's always filling out the game. Like, and usually around playoff time, that's when he's at his best. But like now, he doesn't have a regular season to play with, and he's a shooter as well. So like a lot of the shooting is in rhythm, and like he's not ready for game speed. And if he comes back at the end of the regular season, I don't think 24 games is enough for you to get your rhythm. And that's saying if he comes back immediately after All-Star break. I don't think he will. So like, I feel like it's in his best interest to wait another year. And Michael Porter too, just because you don't play with a bad back. Like, a bag is something like you really take care of, and like it'll do him some justice to sit out, watch a playoff series because you already sat out a year. What's another year? And like you already showed the league that you're valuable. If you come back too early, you might hurt your stock, honestly, because I think he's coming into a contract year or he just signed an extension, but he he's a young player that like needs to really protect his investment, and like it really wouldn't be in his best interest to play early. I feel like.
Yeah, he signed a max contract right before this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was like 150 million or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree, but that's just the news. They're physically cleared. I don't know. They could still say they're not going to play, right? Yeah. James Wiseman said Wednesday that he will most likely appear in games for the Warriors G League affiliate before making his 2021-22 NBA debut. So they could have James Wiseman back, and then Draymond Green is taking part in light on-court activity and will increase his workload going forward. So I think that was just their plan the whole time. They wanted him for the playoffs. They wanted to rest him up long-term. So that's what's coming.
That's so scary. The Warriors are so good already. And imagine they get Draymond and Wiseman back. Because Looney is pretty terrible. Yeah. But
for real.
Yeah, like I would not want to see the Warriors in the series.
Yeah, for sure. Anthony Davis underwent an MRI on Thursday that revealed a mild foot sprain or mid-foot sprain and will be reevaluated in 4 weeks. So they already put him on a month timetable to be reevaluated. So it's bad.
It was his Achilles too.
Wow. Yeah, they just want him for playoffs. They're going to rest him until that. That's all they want him for. Like they know they can do some damage in the play-in tournament or whatever they make, but I think they could still make that for sure.
Yeah, the Lakers look like a really good team with him in. Honestly, like you saw how they played the Warriors. Like, but the key factor is Anthony Davis not forgetting that he's Anthony Davis. Like, sometimes players forget who they are. Like, he comes back from injury pretty strong because he had a couple 30-point games like right after the injury. But I'm very hesitant to say he's going to come back the same player just because. It's a knee, then it's a foot. Now it's a foot, Achilles, ankle. Like, come on. Like,
yeah, it's bad. Victor Oladipo reported to the G League affiliate on Tuesday to begin participating in 5-on-5 practices. So that could be a good bench piece for the Miami Heat in a playoff run, and they look scary anyway. So that could really help him, give him an edge.
I feel like that won't make a difference just because, like, his replacements have been playing great, like Strutz, Gabe, Vincent. Like those guys have really been playing well. And Duncan Robinson's finally get out of his slump. Like I don't really see him being like too earth changing just because he's gonna come in probably averaging 15 to 18 points, and that's what the position's already averaging for them. Even though he gives you something different defensively. But I don't know if he's going to come back the same defender just because the type of injuries he's had.
Yeah, he'll be slower. Yeah, we'll see for sure. It's definitely I wouldn't worry about it in fantasy at all. You know, he's not going to do anything this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just really happy for him to come back though. He's been through a lot.
Oh yeah, he's been through hella injuries. Zion Williamson may require a second surgery on his right foot, so yeah, I don't think he's playing this year, and
definitely not.
future is up in the air, man. If your feet are bad, I mean, we saw what happened with Joakim Noah retired early.
Greg Oden.
Yeah, a lot of people. If you have a foot injury and you're a basketball player, it's just that's it. It's not much you could do, really.
Yeah, Andrew Bynum too. Like,
yeah, I hope that's not the case, but
like personally, like I feel like big men are once they start getting injured, it's always downhill from there, just because they're so big and your feet and knees are supported so much as compared to a guy who's already undersized, 6 foot. Like I feel like they recover better just because they were more reliant on their shooting ability anyway, and like as a shooter, your shooting never leaves you, no matter at what stage in your career it is. But like somebody so explosive as him, I don't know how he can pivot from this, just because he wasn't necessarily the most skilled player out there, but he did have a good feel for the game. I would say that, but like athletically, that's what put him over the top. And like I feel like you take away his superpowers, what is he? Like, because he's not like a LeBron type player. LeBron, like his athleticism is like slowly going away, but he's a cerebral type player anyway. So like you won't notice the difference. But him, he was more of a bull in a china shop. So it's gonna be interesting to see how things go moving forward.
Yeah, man, it's pretty sad. Hopefully they can figure it out. RJ Barrett, he was kind of rested through the All-Star break, but Tom Thibodeau just said they just wanted to rest him through it and not risk anything before the All-Star break. Derrick Rose, optimistic that he will be ready to return when the team opens post All-Star break. So that's good news, because he was out like 2 months.
Yeah.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, still no news on his injuries, so kind of waiting on that update. Trying to skim through here. I know this is taking a while with all these injuries. I have so many people on this list. So Chris Paul will undergo an MRI on his right hand Thursday. So yeah, hopefully it's nothing bad, because that was right before the All-Star break, and now he's got to get an MRI done. So it's obviously nothing. It's not minor.
Yeah. But yeah, Chris Paul, he's always hurt. Like I feel like Chris Paul plays well hurt, because he knows the game very well. Rather, like he could run an offense, and like I remember he said on JJ Redick's podcast, like he couldn't even shoot in the Lakers series, but like he was still as much of a threat, if not more, because he had a good poker face. So hopefully he's able to figure something out.
Yeah, agreed. Portland just has a bunch of injuries, but I don't know if many of them are relevant to fantasy. I mean, Damian Lillard, this is kind of old news, but underwent surgery Thursday in Philadelphia to repair a core injury. That was on January 13th. I thought that said February 13th. My bad. Let's see here. Fred VanVleet's day today. I'm sure it was just a hold through the All-Star break, because he was in the 3-point competition. He looked fine. At least just jumping, jump shots. But
yeah.
And yeah, that's it. Kristaps Porzingis didn't play Wednesday before the All-Star break, so a lot of these guys were just being rested. But that's all the major news, and sorry that took a little while, but there's just a lot on that list all the time. So let's break into trade targets. I wanted to go over buy lows and sell highs. You could just skip this section if your trade deadline is passed in your fantasy leagues. I like to run my leagues without a trade deadline, because I feel like it's kind of annoying. If people want to make trades later in the season, who cares? Derek White traded to Boston, and Marcus Smart had a pretty bad ankle roll. And with him out one game, Derek White started and had a really good game of like 38 fantasy points. So, and I feel like people were down on him being traded to Boston anyway, because on San Antonio he was a starter. On Boston, he second string, like the sixth man basically. So I think it's a nice buy low. You might be able to get cheap since he's technically the backup. See if you can get him. Jaren Jackson Jr. Oh, go ahead.
I'll stay away from him just because their whole offense is like tailored around JB and Jason Tatum. So like, and those two guys are high usage. So like, you got to be careful with those types of guys, because say he has a good game shooting from the corner, it's gonna look like he played better than he really did, but in reality, he got open based on Jason Tatum and JB. So like, you got to really be wary of guys like that, just because he's going to have good games here and there, but like most time he's going to be a player who only gets you 15 points, 4 boards, and probably like 4 assists. Even though that's a solid stat line, but like I don't know if that's something that you'll stake a key member of your fantasy team for.
Yeah, he's just like a mid-round guy, but he's done pretty good in his 4 games on Boston, so I still kind of like him. And I like him because he's a two-way guard. He gets a lot of steals and blocks.
Okay, true. I didn't even think about those stats. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, if he didn't play defense, for sure, it wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, you don't want to, like you said, you don't want to overbuy because he's not some stud, but he's a nice piece to have for all around play. Jaren Jackson Jr., I just always try to get him if he has a couple bad games, and the last 7, 29.5 average, because he had like 2 bad games recently. He had 2 good games, 2 bad games, so I'm just going to see if I can get him. I really like him, and I mean, we all talked about him in the draft episode, just a guy we wanted, so
Yeah.
always try to fish, you know. Jared Allen, 28.4 in the last 7. This one I'm still a little questionable of, because I really like Jared Allen, but like I said, Evan Mobley has been going off lately. He might be taking over the front court. But Jared Allen's usually better than 28.4. That's why I put him in the buy low, because I think he could still average 35.
Yeah.
And
I think the guy in our league wouldn't sell him for anything low, so I think he wouldn't be there.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, not our league. Yeah. Terry Rozier, 26.8 in the last 7. And Scary Terry has been averaging 33 in the year in points league, so he's definitely just in a slump. And I would try to get him because he's a stud guard. And a starter. Jeremy Grant, 27.1 in the last 7. He's still coming off of injury, so he's getting his legs back under him, and I think he could definitely average 35. So if there's a chance you can get him in your league, go for it.
Yeah.
Clint Capela, 26.2. This one I'm a little skeptical of. When he's healthy, he can average 40, but I know he's had his feet looked at all year, and he's looked pretty down the past 3 weeks. So if you want to take a risk, I'd go for it, because it's a guy who can average near 40 when he's fully healthy. But if he's playing hurt right now, I'm not really sure. Tobias Harris, 25.6. I think this is a good one you can get, because people are a little worried, or an owner might be worried, because James Harden's about to start there, and Tobias Harris will become the 3 guy. But even when he was the 3rd best player last year, behind Ben Simmons and Embiid, he was still averaging around 35. So Tobias Harris just does his thing.
You got to think about, though, Ben Simmons and James Harden a little bit different, though. James Harden going to get probably 20, 25 shots a game. Ben Simmons taking probably 10, 12 shots max. So you got to keep in mind, like, his numbers were, like, even though he was technically the 3rd option, he was really the 2nd scoring option. So, but I think his role is going to be completely diminished with James Harden, just because that pick and roll with Embiid is going to be deadly. So they're going to pick and roll people to death. So you got to be careful of that.
For sure. But he's better than 25, I feel like. And that's why he's a buy low, because he could be 35. And, I mean, to counterpoint your argument there, I'd say Ben Simmons was also taking more rebounds where James Harden might not. So then Tobias can take over in that area. I feel like he could just fill in like anywhere he plays.
Yeah, he's a really good basketball player.
Definitely agree.
Like, but
James Harden's definitely better.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get more catch and shoot opportunities though. So like, it may be an opportunity for his points to go up, just because it's gonna be so much focus on Harden and Embiid. So he might get more open shots now. So it might counteract. And Steph Curry's gone. So like, his volume might be the same actually. Yeah. Just thinking about that. And rebound is going to go up.
Yeah, for sure. So, so if an owner's like skeptical, maybe you can get him for cheap, and then it's a great trade.
Who owns them in our league?
Kelly Oubre. Me.
Let's talk business.
Okay. All right, let's do it. Kelly Oubre, 24.6, and he's been better than this. I think he's the leader for the 6th Man of the Year award right now, like in the race. So he's definitely better than 24.6 fantasy points, and he's their 6th man. So he should come up and be near 28. I feel like you could maybe get him cheap or just see if he's dropped, but I wanted to throw him on here.
Yeah.
Not like a major grab, not like a major trade, but do you guys have any other buy low candidates?
Probably Dorte. He's been injured.
On OKC?
On Indiana. He's their starting 2 guard.
Oh, Daughtry? Chris Daughtry. Oh, yeah.
Like,
okay. Is it?
He's
Zach, how do you pronounce it? You're the pronouncer.
It's what?
Chris Daughtry?
Dorte.
Daughtry? Dorte? What is it?
I always thought it was Dort.
Dorte.
Oh. Dorte, okay.
Oh, is it Dorte? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a believer
I'm not necessarily a
in
believer.
Chris?
He's been
Hmm.
letting me down, but his opportunity there has increased. He played well in the few games where they got rid of Kyrus LeVert, but that could also be because
Hmm.
Brogdon's out too. So you got to really be careful with him. But like, I feel like the owner of him would probably sell him very cheap. Like, personally, like, you give me somebody averaging probably like 25, he's yours.
For sure. Yeah, that definitely. Sell highs. Josh Giddey, 49.6. He's just had a crazy run before the All-Star break, but he's doing this without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And even though there's no news on Shai, eventually he's going to come back and take away from Josh Giddey's usage. So with Josh Giddey going off like this, I feel like you could trade for a really good player. I don't know, unless you just want to ride the wave. But when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is in, Josh Giddey is around like 30 a night instead of what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
So I'd sell high if I had him still. I already sold high earlier in the season, but
Yeah.
he's still a great player. Julius Randle, finally playing up to par. Like we said, he's a surprise of the week, but do we trust it just because he's had such a bad year? Like, do you guys trust?
Not for this season.
Okay.
I think just start fresh next year.
So
Try
would
and
you
move
sell?
off of him. I'd sell him high
Yeah.
for sure after this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's been
Aaron,
more of
what
a
do you think?
headache than a good player this year. A great player this year.
Yeah, definitely not a second round talent this year.
Yeah.
My sell high is Zach LaVine. Uh,
Oh, really?
yeah, just because he has a bad knee, so like, I'm very wary of that because they're probably gonna rest him down the stretch, and that's probably gonna be our playoff run. So like, he might go avatar on
That's a
you,
good point.
like, go missing when you need him most.
That's a good point.
Yeah, for sure. Josh Hart, 43.7 in the last 7. I like Josh Hart and his hustle. Like, he's a great player to watch.
He plays with a lot of heart.
Oh my God. For fantasy, I just would sell high, though, because I don't trust him to keep it up on Portland. I mean, maybe he will. I just don't see it being 43.7. I see it being more around 30, which is his actual average. So I'm selling high based on his last week.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys think, but I mean, he might have more time there to play.
I'd sell high on him.
Yeah, Trey
Sure.
Man's another sell high as well. I feel like he's
Okay.
gonna come back down to earth.
Oh, yeah. No, he definitely will.
Yeah,
But he's only 1% owned, so I don't know who wants him, but
yeah.
we'll
Hopefully you
see.
can negotiate your way and say your last, what's it called? The last week he's been averaging such and such. Like, you could really sell high on that.
For sure. Kobe White, 43 in the last 7. That's a definite sell high for me as he fills in. He's like the sixth man on the Bulls, but he's also gone off when Levine was out a couple of games. So see if he can get anything. I mean, still a great player to hold at the bottom of your bench if you can't get anything, but like we said, Levine will be back. Sadiq Bey's on another heater. This is what he does. He goes on these like 2-week runs, and then he has a month of being horrible. So 42.9 in the last week. Try to offload him if you haven't already, like this year. See if you can get something for him. Jalen Brunson, 35.2 average in the last week. He was the number 2 guard. Dinwiddie's coming to town though, and I don't know how much that's going to affect. I feel like they could be splitting more, and that's going to bring Brunson's numbers down. So I would try to trade Brunson if I had him. Would you guys sell high on Kuzma? I've been on this train for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Uh,
Or would you hold?
I would see personally. I've had Kuzma the whole year, and some days you love him, other days you hate him. But like, he's
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of consistent, but like at the same time, his good games are great, but his bad games are so awful. Like, it's like he'll give you 50 one day and literally give you 16 the next. And like, that literally happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would never play Kyle Kuzma in a back to back. Never play Kyle Kuzma back to back.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not on the Kuzma bandwagon either. I'd sell high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a hell of a month. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know, 34, this is the lowest he's been, so he's actually been on a downward trend. He was around 40 at his peak during these sell high talks, and now he's at 34 in the last 7. So, yeah, they just have other players they want to test out, other young players, and I don't think Kuzma's their future. So, and they know they're not going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like they're starting to play Denny Avicii more, if I said that right, but they're starting to play him a lot more too. So, same position. Mitchell Robinson, a guy I always try to sell high on if he's had a couple good games. He has had a couple good, and I did actually sell high on him. I sold them in a trade, but he was just like an additional piece, and that's what he is in a trade. Like he's an extra throw-in, but it's still nice to offload off your team, and I would see if you can get anything. Use any of these sell highs to get some of those buy lows. Like if you could package Mitchell Robinson with, let's see here. If you could package Mitchell Robinson with a Sadiq Bey to get Tobias Harris, I mean, I would do it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like a 2-for-1. You guys have any more sell high players that are just going off that you don't believe in?
I feel like I sell high on Mobley.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Why is
just
that?
because it's getting crowded there, and Lowry Markkanen's coming back, so that's going to take away 5 shots from him. Then you just got to think about he's a rookie. He really hasn't had his slump yet. Every single rookie in the history of rookies has their rookie slump, and it's usually in the latter stages of the season. And like, it's too good to be true. Honestly, I feel like.
Dang, do you have it?
I do.
All right, let's talk, dude.
Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah, well, that's true, though. There is always a rookie slump, but isn't he the leader for Rookie of the Year now? I could swear. But, I mean, yeah, things could change. Totally agree that it could come anytime, and you have to look to the future, not to just right now.
But, like, his last few games, you could see the slump coming. Like, I'll just read off the point totals. He had 8 points, 9 points, 18, 8, 11, and 22.
Okay.
So
a little bit down. Yeah. All right. Yeah, for sure. Look into that. Scoop him up. This is my must-grab list. Justice Winslow, 35 in the last 7. He's part of the deal that went to Portland. He's a starter, obviously, and you have to grab him and see how it goes. There's no guarantee he'll keep it up, but if he could keep around 35, this could be a league winner. So, you need to try it. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Only 13.4% owned in ESPN leagues. I think somebody already grabbed him in our league like real early, right? Who has him? I don't even know. Do you have him?
Who?
Winslow,
Justice Winslow?
Nah, I don't believe in that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kobe White, another red hot player, 25.2% owned, 43 average in the last week. If he's available in your league, you got to grab him and just ride him while he's shooting hot. O'Shea Brissett, 30.6 in the last 7. Until we know more about Miles Turner's injury and if he's even coming back this year, you got to grab this guy and keep running with him because he's the big man right now and he's getting big double-doubles. Ayo Dosunmu is still somehow only 22% owned in ESPN leagues. I don't know if people just don't play ESPN anymore, but Yahoo, he's like 60 or 70% owned.
I'm enjoying Dosunmu in both my basketball leagues.
30.4 in the last 7. He's a must-roster guy, and we just said in the injury report that the other 2 Bulls guards aren't going to be back for at least another month and a half. So this is another guy who could be a league winner, and he's still barely owned in ESPN. So grab this guy. And then these are other grabs that minimal watch list. Otherwise, they're deep league moves like 12-team and beyond. Terrence Mann, 30.9 in the last 7, 17.3% owned. This is a guy who last year was a huge second-half player, and it looks like there's an opening for him to be that this year. Maxi Kleber, 4.5% owned, 36.5 average in the last 7, and like we said, Porzingis is gone, and this could be the guy taking over that role. Yeah. Trey Mann, we have to talk about him. 37.3 in the last 7. Point guard for OKC. There's no news on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, so until he's back, Trey Mann's only 1% owned. You could take a flyer on him and see how he does.
Yeah, guys, I got a bail, but before I go,
sure.
Let me speak my last piece. The Cavaliers bandwagon. I'm driving it.
Okay.
to win. That's my team to win the East. Like, I may sound
What?
crazy right now, but they got length, shooting, and they play defense. So, like, really be on the lookout for the Cavs. And, like, when it happens, if it happens, just know I called it first just because they got bodies to throw at Giannis. They got bodies for KD. And then they got guards. They got a guard, like a lead guard that's elite. And I don't see anybody in the East who could check Darius Garland. And I really hope my prediction comes true because I seem very smart, even though I'm not that smart basketball wise, you know. Uh, but
Yeah,
you guys,
sure.
you guys have a great day.
You too, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks for
joining
coming
us.
on, man.
No problem. Hopefully, you guys have me back.
Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, always.
All right, see you guys.
See you,
All right,
man.
talk to you.
Yep. Trey talks.
Yeah, but we were talking about Trey, man. Next guy, Brandon Clark, 35.6 average. What do you think, Zach? I mean, he's their bench big man, but he's going off 46.6% owned.
Yeah, I'd take him. You know, take a chance on it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to drop him in a couple weeks, you know?
For sure. Denny of Vita 32.5. Oh, really?
Yeah, Avdia.
Okay, well, I
Yeah.
botched that.
It's all right.
32.5 average in the last 7, 4.8% owned. Like I said, they're starting to play more of their young guys because they know the season's shot.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, he was one of their he was a first-round pick a couple years ago, so they're going to focus him. And I grabbed him in a deep league, 12-team league, so he's definitely 12-team grabbable.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not 10-team yet, but you got to watch him because I'd say he's the next best player behind Kuzma right now. No doubt in my mind. So Isaiah Roby, 30.5 average in the last 7, 3.4% owned. He's a power forward on Oklahoma City. Last year he was a second half player. He just had a big double-double right before the All-Star break. So if you don't want to miss out, you grab him right away. Otherwise, you put him on your watch list. And if he has another big double-double, you have to grab him because it could be a league winner.
Hell yeah.
Talen Horton-Tucker, with Anthony Davis out, it's going to be a faster-moving game for the Lakers. And this is now their third go-to guy, I think. And they got to run with it. And you could take a flyer on him. He's low percent owned. And everyone's seen the talents there. He's just playing next to a lot of big names. So I think with Anthony Davis out at least a month, this is a great grab. Dorian Finney-Smith, 25.1 average in the last 7, 15.7% owned. Until we know for sure who are the two best big men, or who is the best big man in Dallas, I actually, in one league, my Yahoo league, I have Dorian Finney-Smith and Maxi Kleber, and they're both doing well. So they could bend up, like you said, Zach, they could be playing two power forwards, starting. Those are the two guys getting the rebounds and the easy layups and whatnot from Doncic. So I don't have a problem with owning both. You got to grab both and see which one turns out, if not both. But second half breakout. So Aaron didn't really understand the assignment, but he said for second half breakout players, he said Cavs. So he's just a believer in the Cavs doing well as a whole team. So I guess for that you would say Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, but they're already kind of breaking out.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe LeVert breaks out there in Cleveland because we already know Garland's like a stud. But Zach, who are your top second half breakout players?
Yeah, so I put Ayo DeSumo because I think he's just going to keep getting minutes and keep doing what he's doing.
Okay.
De'Aaron Fox, just because he's back from his injury, and with their trades and stuff, he's looking very good these last few games. And then DeAndre Ayton, if he can stay on the court, he's definitely going to be a big second half player because he's finally maybe going to give you some consistency here.
Yeah, for sure.
And then those are kind of like more common names. Two other guys that I think are actually going to be really good breakout second half guys are Maxi Kleber and Bogdan Bogdanovic on the Hawks. I think those two guys are going to be very good players on your teams the second half.
For sure. Yeah, I like Kleber a lot. For me, I put a bunch of guys that you can grab, so I didn't pick the stars that could break out second half, like Zach had De'Aaron Fox or DeSumo, or Ayton, but I'm gonna go with a bunch of chances. But I really like O'Shea Brissett. I think they could rest Miles Turner the rest of the season. So for me, it's O'Shea Brissett is the big man in Indiana. And if he's not, it's Isaiah Jackson, the rookie, who has had a couple big games and then he got hurt with an ankle injury, so he's been out a bit. But it's one or the other, like, is the starting power forward. Even if Miles Turner comes back, he's the center. So either of these guys can be the go-to starting power forward in Indiana for a fast-paced offense.
Yeah.
Devin Vassell, with Derek White gone, Devin Vassell is starting. San Antonio's been heating up anyway, so I really like him as a second-half breakout guy who, if he can average you near 30, which is kind of what he's been doing since starting, I think it's a great second-half pickup that fills out your bench. Terrence Mann, same thing. The Clippers are just not a great team. His competition for the number one offensive player isn't too hefty. There's not a lot of names there. So I really like him as just a second-half guy who puts up numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Devin Vassell is also on the grab list. I forgot to mention that because he's been grabbed in both our leagues, so I didn't even put him on there. But he's definitely on the grab list. He's still low percent owned. He's a starter for San Antonio. You got to grab him. Zach, say this name again.
Denny Avdia.
Denny Avdia. Yeah, I think he's the second best player on Washington, and he'll keep that role going forward. He does kind of a little bit of everything. And if this guy is another guy who, if he could average you near 30, it's a great second half stash and grab. So that's it for me. Those are a bunch of guys I think could be second half breakouts. Unless you can think of anybody else, Zach.
No. I think that's a good list.
Drops, dude. Let's get into drops. So people were grabbing Bagley because he was traded to Detroit, but there was also people were grabbing him because they thought Detroit was going to trade away other big men, but they kept all their big men. So they're loaded on big men, so I don't think he's going to get the minutes, sadly.
Yeah.
Like we were hoping for the breakout. It won't happen until next year, it looks like. Until they get rid of more of these power forwards. They have a bunch of power forwards.
Yeah.
So, and then I see you put Mo Bamba here, dude. Is Trouble in Paradise?
Paradise? I don't know what paradise you're talking about.
You got to hold because he's a starting center.
Okay.
I mean, unless
his minutes are all over the place. If you look his last 6 games.
Okay, 10 team, you could drop him for sure. There's a bunch of second half grabs that we talked about.
I'm currently looking for someone to drop for Isaiah Roby, and I don't know exactly who to do.
Oh God, you can't just drop Mo Bamba. Anybody would scoop him up. I would scoop him up.
Yeah.
But it's up to you unless you just want to take a risk.
No, I'm not really seriously considering Bamba. I just wanted to hear your opinion on it.
10 team drop because 10 teams. There's a bunch of players to grab.
Yeah.
12 team hold and beyond for now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah. I mean, we will.
You put Jared Vanderbilt. What's wrong with
Vanderbilt? He's kind of all over the place too.
Okay.
Like lately, if you look, he hasn't been
a little down.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 out of 5 of the past games have been not so good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 10 team drop, obviously. 12 team, he's on the fence. Like if you like a player, you could drop him. But you have to really like the player. I like Vanderbilt, but yeah, these numbers aren't looking good the past 5 games.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he needed their All-Star break rest.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, he's definitely lower numbers than Bamba.
Yeah.
He's definitely on the fence. I mean, you could see people are dropping him. 10 team for sure. No doubt in my mind.
It kind of leads right into my first concern. Like, do you think Vanderbilt's the rest of the season hold?
I mean, 10 team, no. I don't think he was ever a 10 team guy. He's always been like a deeper league guy.
Yeah.
But 12 team, it depends on if like in our league, 12 team, none of the guys we talked about in the scoops are really available besides Isaiah Roby.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody's grabbed. Everybody. So it really depends on how much of the risk you want to take for upside.
Right.
But Isaiah Roby's got the upside because he'll be he could be the number 1 big man there, where Jared Vanderbilt's the number 2 big man there and the number 4 player. He's not even the top 3.
Yeah.
So upside is Roby, but you got to be able to trust the minutes and the coaching, and it's a risk,
Right.
So it's borderline, dude. I don't know what to tell you. It's just a super gray area.
I'm thinking about probably dropping Cam Thomas. He seems like the most safe drop, but I got a lot of shooting guards, so he's probably the one I'll drop, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Totally agree. What other concerns do you have, Zach?
So, Gordon Hayward, we kind of touched on him with the injuries. Do you think he's going to come back and be good if and when he comes back? Or do you think? Because, I mean, right now he's fine for me to hold because he's my only injury and I got 4 injured spots. So, but...
No, he'll be fine when he comes back because he's a shooter. He's really good at it. And he gets boards and assists, and he's just a good basketball player. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Not going to go off or anything, but you hold him if you have the room.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions? What do you got here?
Malcolm Brogdon, same question. Is he going to come back and be good?
There's rumors of him coming back right after the All-Star break.
Okay.
I don't think so, but all you can do is hope that he has a good game when he comes back, and then you try to trade him.
Yeah.
Before he gets hurt again, or they shut him down for the year.
Yeah.
Unless you just whenever there's an article saying he's coming back, but people are going to want to see evidence that he can play. So you're going to have to wait for him to play a game.
Okay.
And if you don't have the room and IR spots, you got to drop him if you're competing for a playoff spot.
Okay. And then my last question, Cam Thomas, you hold?
On the Nets?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I think we're about to get Ben Simmons. I don't know. I mean, you could hold him for you could stream him for a week before everybody's back, but eventually that whole team's going to get together.
Mm-hmm.
I would stream him for the week because, like we just said, Kyrie's out for 4 games. But if you like other options for long term, this is not a long term hold. It's a short term stream. All right, is that it, dude? You want to break into grid? You got anything else?
No, I really got nothing else.
Okay. So the second half, I just wanted to offer stream options. I was looking at the grid, and there's teams that play Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, so you could grab one player who gets 3 games in for you the rest of this week and help you win the week. So Boston Celtics, Denver Nuggets, Detroit Pistons.
Hell yeah.
So see if you can get one of them.
A lot of streaming available with those, especially with Detroit. A lot of streaming guys.
Yeah, exactly. And then another thing you could do, I was looking at for these 4 days, I've been so you could stream a guy Thursday, Sunday. So that means if you have enough moves, grab a guy Thursday, and then on the Boston Celtics, Denver Nuggets, Detroit Pistons, Warriors, Suns, Blazers. So that's 2 teams that play Thursday, Sunday. Then you could drop them for a guy that plays Friday, Saturday, and this way you get 4 games out of 2 moves. So Friday, Saturday, Miami Heat, Spurs, Raptors, Wizards, and then you re-grab a guy for the Sunday, Thursday,
Big brain moves over here, big brain Jake.
Yeah, so technically that would be 3 moves. So if you have 3 moves, you can get 4 games out of that. But the best option is if you can get a guy playing Thursday, Saturday, Sunday with 1 move. Which is, again, Boston Celtics, Denver Nuggets, Detroit Pistons. And that's it.
That's what we call the dream.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, dude, that's it for me. You got any more questions? I know we kind of ran over for everybody, but there's a lot to go over since we missed
there's just
2
a ton.
weeks.
You know, I guess I would just take away from this episode that Cleveland's going to win the championship. I think Aaron convinced me. I'm on the bandwagon. You heard the Cleveland steamer coming down the tracks when Aaron was talking with it. You heard that train go by. That was the Cavaliers bandwagon right there.
I am
the Cleveland steamer coming to town.
I don't think so. They're going to get bullied around by some of the older teams.
Cleveland steamer. The Chattanooga Choo-Choo coming to town.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Follow us on social media.
Yeah, follow us on social media. We got Facebook, facebook.com/Garden of Sports Podcast. We have Instagram, instagram.com/Garden of Sports. And we have Twitter, Twitter.com/GOSPod2021. Go give us a follow. You definitely won't regret it. Please give us a follow.
Oh my God.
Anyways, yeah, really fun episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll catch you all next week.
Yeah, and good night.
And scene.